The premium compact SUV market is right now occupied by two cars, the Hyundai Creta and the Kia Seltos. There are a few others that are not worth mentioning or considering. Now, the Creta and Seltos are good cars, but they are missing three key ingredients that make a proper premium compact SUV even better. And there's a manufacturer who's capable of delivering that. What manufacturer comes to your mind when I say the following things? Brilliant performance, timeless design, and brilliant build quality. Well, if your answer is Volkswagen, you got it right. Now, before I start off this video, I'd like to thank the dealership that made this video possible, and that would be Volkswagen Mount Road Sundaram Motors. Now, VW Mount Road is one of the highest rated VW dealers here in Chennai, and I can assure you that the rating is not a lie because I've been a customer with them for the past 5 years, and their service has been top notch. Now, speaking of service, the service center is situated right next to the dealership, which is a huge advantage. So, if you plan on inquiring or buying a VW, you can contact Sundaram Motors VW Mount Road using the contact info shown on the screen right now. So let's start off this review with the exterior of the Taigun. Now, the front of the Taigun looks unmistakably Volkswagen-like, even with all that chrome, which, by the way, the market loves. It's clean and bold at the same time, especially in this wild cherry red color. Taking a closer look at the headlamps on this Highline variant, you can see that it is the halogen type with LED DRLs at the bottom and indicators on the inner sides. Now, below that, you will see the halogen fog lamp, which has a cornering function. Looking at the Taigun head-on, the first thing you'll notice is the chrome on the bumper. That kinda looks like a mustache. What can also be seen over here are the headlamps in action. And also don't miss out on the all-new Volkswagen logo, which makes its debut in India on the Taigun. The bonnet has this subtle bump and ends sharply at the front, meeting the single-lined chrome grille on this highlight variant. Now, the Taigun looks brilliant even when viewed from the side. The front of this car is very Volkswagen-like, and I like it a lot. Now, coming over to the side, and you'll truly understand why I said VW's designs are always classic and timeless. There's a crease running from the front fender to the tail lamp, which is really neatly done and is clean. Now, the wheelbase of the Taigun is at 2651 mm, which is 41 mm more than the Creta or the Seltos, its key rivals. You can also see the black plastic cladding given to the lower part of the Taigun to give it that SUV-like look, with a subtle crease running on it. Again, the quality of the plastic and the way it's integrated into the design makes it look really nice. What can also be seen here are the clean looking 16-inch alloys shod in 205/60 tires on this Highline variant. Now jump over to the top line variant, it becomes a 17-inch alloy that looks like this, and is shod with a 205/55 size tire. And on the topmost GT spec variant, it's a different styled 17-inch alloy with the same spec of tire. Taking a look at the ORVMs with integrated blinkers and auto folding function, They also have a good design to them which neatly integrates with the rest of the car. The door handles are body colored, and on the top spec GT they have a chrome lining on them. And check out this clean and subtle VW branding on the B pillar. Now the window belt line is in matte black and rises up sharply just before meeting the sloping roof. Moving over to the rear of the Taigun, the infinity LED tail lamps that you see right here that stretches from one end to the other, that's the main part over here. I'll come back to that in a second. The rear looks very Audi-esque with the black dot diffuser and the chrome elements. You can also see the new VW logo, the Taigun branding, as well as the TSI badging over here. Now over to the infinity LED tail lamps. Now this is the design highlight of the Taigun with some really cool looking details. There is no mistaking for the Taigun for anything else from the rear, especially at night. Talking about the boot space of the Taigun, which is rated at 385 liters, well, don't let that number fool you because the amount of usable space is brilliant, as you can see right now. The parcel shelf tray is a very useful addition, and you've got this neat little handle on the boot lid which helps you close the boot. Overall, the boot of the Taigun is on par with that of the Creta or the Seltos. Taking a look at the GT variant of the Taigun, which is the topmost variant that comes with the 1.5 liter TSI Evo engine. The changes from the Highline are the all LED headlamps with LED DRL, the grille which is now a dual chrome lined grille with the GT badge, and also towards the side you get this piano black GT badge which looks really clean and well done. The GT variant also gets a black roof with silver roof rails and a black shark fin antenna. You can also see the sunroof over here. Now coming off to the side, the 17-inch rims do look really nice and give the Taigun a good amount of style. Seen here are the chrome door handles as well as the window belt line. Now over to the rear, there's one small change. The TSI badge makes way for the GT badge. Now to get into the Taigun, you've got your flippy key even for the push start button variant, and the key is of typical high Volkswagen quality. What you're looking at right now is the Highline variant's interior, and I love this clean and functional design language that Volkswagen has used here. So let's take a closer look at it. Taking a look at the door pad, it's mostly black with a small grey portion and a painted grey insert around the silver chrome door handle. You've got your ORVM controls and window controls which are backlit, below which you'll find the door pockets that can hold more than just a bottle of water, including an umbrella. Oh, and the doors, they close with a satisfying. Once inside, it's very Volkswagen-esque and the quality is really good. Now let's take a closer look at the steering wheel. The new VW steering design makes its debut in India with the Taigun. Now on the left hand side we have the cruise control buttons as well as the volume buttons for the audio controls in the satin silver finish trim. On the right hand side are the buttons for the MID or the virtual cockpit as well as the track seek buttons. And in the center is the new Volkswagen logo. Now behind the steering wheel, right hand side you have the upshift paddle and the wiper stalk, and on the left hand side is the downshift paddle with the high beam and indicator stalk. Personally, this design of the steering wheel from Volkswagen is brilliant, not only to look at but to hold as well. Towards the right hand side of the steering wheel are the headlamp controls which have the typical European layout. Now taking a look at the instrument cluster for this Highline variant, you've got the RPM on the left, the MID in the middle and the speedo on the right, with the small temperature gauge on the left and the small fuel gauge on the right. The MID can be controlled by these buttons on the steering wheel. It can be used to cycle through various vehicle related information. You can also view your audio as well as phone related information over here. The dials are simple, really easy to read on the move and look really classy. Moving on to the top line and GT variant, you get the digital cockpit. Now it has an 8-inch display that can show either the RPM or the speedo, flanked by the temperature on the left hand side and the fuel gauge on the right hand side. You also get a fully digital mode which you can further customize to your liking. But do note that the red theme is exclusive for the GT, while the top line trims with the 1-liter engine gets a blue theme. Moving over to the center console, the 10-inch touchscreen occupies the top spot. Now the system plays music through 6 speakers and it sounds good. The 10-inch touchscreen system is very smooth to use and it easily felt like I was using my iPad. Now you've got your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but both are wireless over here. What should be noticed is that the system can be used to adjust a whole host of functions related to the vehicle, like the exterior lights, the mirrors, the wipers, or as you can see right now, the instrument cluster lights as well. Below the touchscreen system, you have your aircon vents, below which is the hazard button, and also this is where you'll find the buttons for the ventilated seats on the top line variant. The automatic climate control system is available from the Highline variant onwards and is a touch and slide type. Now you might think that this will be difficult to operate, but I could use them without taking my eyes off the road within an hour of getting used to the controls. The cooling was really good, and in the Chennai heat, it cooled the cabin really fast. Below the climate control, you have the wireless charging pad, the 12-volt socket, which is where your keyless start system will be in the higher variants, and 2 USB-C ports. Taking a look at the gear selector for this automatic variant, it gets the new gear knob, which looks really nice and has the subtle white lighting inside it. And it not only looks good, it feels really premium too. Now further below that, we have a couple of cup holders, the parking brake, which is not an electronic type, and an armrest with storage that can be adjusted to your liking. Now on the passenger side, the first thing you'll notice is the ambient lighting, which glows in white, but for the GT variant, it glows in red. Now the passenger side of the dashboard also gets this glossy painted panel with the contrast finish in the center. For the GT variant, this finish is in carbon fiber instead of the glossy finish seen over here. Coming over to the GT variant, your steering has this perforated leather finish with the same silver inserts. Now taking a look at the IRVM, which is an auto dimming variant, it is wide enough to cover the rear windshield. The roof bezel has 2 individual lights as well as the sunroof controls and the Bluetooth mic. Now you can see how much the sunroof opens up to as well as the sunroof blind. Taking a look at the reversing camera pad to the 3 parking sensors at the rear, the resolution is decent and it offers a really wide view of the things at the back. The guidelines are static instead of dynamic. If it's the manual top line variant you're looking at, well, this is the only difference in the cabin apart from the seats, which I'll come to in a moment. Now coming to the front seats, they have good back support, good range for the height adjustment, and is extremely comfortable no matter what your height or your build is. On the Highline variant, you get fabric seats. On the top line variant, you get this leather seat with the ventilated option, and on the GT variant, you get fabric seats with contrast red stitching to match the red theme of the GT variant. Moving over to the rear doors open wide, providing easy access to the rear seats. Now the rear seats are really comfortable with a good amount of legroom and under thigh support. The backrest is also at a perfect angle, providing the right amount of headroom. You also get rear AC vents and a couple of USB-C ports. The rear armrest is also at the right height and is really comfy. You also get 2 cup holders in them. So what powers the Taigun? The Taigun comes with a 1-liter TSI engine mated to a 6-speed manual, or a torque converter 6-speed automatic. It also comes with a 1.5-liter TSI Evo engine packed to a 6-speed manual or the 7-speed DSG. Now feel free to pause the video to go through the specs. Now how does all of this translate from paper to the road? Well, the 1.5-liter TSI rolls off from a standstill with no fuss at all. The throttle response is good, and the moment you take your leg off the brake pedal, the Taigun creeps to 5 kmph, which is a boon in city traffic. The bottom end is decent, but where the 1.5-liter TSI comes to life is beyond 1500 rpm. The 150 bhp and 250 Nm of torque makes small work of reaching triple-digit speeds, which by the way Volkswagen says the Taigun will do 0 to 100, that is, in 9.1 seconds, which I don't doubt for a second. When the road opens up as well as the throttle, the 1.5 will show you what a brilliant performer it is. Add the quick shifting DSG to the mix and you've got the best driving compact SUV right now. The 1.5 goes all the way till 6000 rpm before it upshifts. You want to do it any sooner, you can use the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. NVH is brilliant, and the only time you'll hear the engine is when it gets past 5000 rpm. The suspension setup is brilliant and will be loved by not only us the enthusiasts but by the regular drivers as well. The ride is very compliant and it's neither too soft nor too stiff. The handling and dynamics is where Volkswagen has always nailed it, and it is no different with the Taigun. The steering felt sharp and direct but was light enough to use in the city with no fuss at all. Now coming over to the engine, the majority of customers will choose the 1-liter TSI engine. Now it is 33 bhp and 72 Nm of torque down on the 1.5-liter TSI, but that's the only time you'll ever notice it, on paper that is. The 1-liter TSI goes all the way till 5500 rpm before the 6-speed automatic jumps in and changes the gear. Although it lacks the outright punch of the 1.5-liter TSI, the 1-liter TSI is refined and does its job without a fuss. The automatic and the 1-liter TSI together can get you 16 km per liter according to Volkswagen, which is really good for a turbo petrol compact SUV. Now the 1-liter TSI paired to the automatic is a perfect compact SUV for city runs and even the highways. Let's take a look at all the safety features the Volkswagen Taigun offers. Now feel free to pause the video to go through all of them. These are the color options and variants for the Volkswagen Taigun. Feel free to pause the video to go through them. So how good is the Taigun then? Remember how at the start of the video I told you only VW could make a compact premium SUV? Which has timeless looks, great build quality and brilliant performance? Well, the Taigun does all three and more. Now talking about the styling, it is by far my favorite premium compact SUV to look at. It's got the typical VW design, which means it is classy and neat. The build quality too is brilliant in a typical European fashion. The interior and the amount of equipment on offer is good too, especially on the top line and the GT Plus variant. The space on the inside is really good as well, with a lot of room on offer. Coming to the last part, the performance. The 1.5-liter TSI Evo engine is a treat for the enthusiast, be it with the manual or the DSG. And the 1-liter TSI isn't far behind with the added bonus of efficiency. Safety too has been taken care of with the top variants offering 6 airbags, ESC, hill hold control to name a few. Now adding all of this up, I can safely place my bet on the Taigun to be a proper premium compact SUV. See, the Hyundai and the Kia are good compact SUVs, but the VW is just a bit better overall. And that was my review for the VW Taigun. Now what do you think about the Taigun? Do let me know using the comments. And if you did like this video, please do hit that like button and subscribe button as it helps my channel out a lot. Now until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, drive safe, wear your seatbelt and your mask.